What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Friday, December 1st, 2023, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from around the world. So apparently, somebody tried to force their way into Offutt Air Base last night. Offutt Air Base is home of STRATCOM, or U.S. Strategic Command. That is the most important military base in the United States. There's a bunker underneath Offutt Air Base. That's where they took Dick Cheney after 9/11. And the U.S. vice president and generals and the president, they can command the entire U.S. military from Offutt Air Base. So it's a very, very important base. We also have a lot of strategic assets there, including bombers, nuclear war command and control planes, reconnaissance planes, nuke sniffer planes, all kinds of stuff at Offutt Air Base. So apparently, Offutt Air Base was placed on lockdown Thursday night due to an unauthorized vehicle at the gate in Offutt Air Base. And according to the Air Force, at around 10 p.m., the vehicle tried to enter through the STRATCOM gate at the base, and the 55th Security Forces Squadron enabled the barrier system, according to a Facebook post from Offutt Air Force Base. The vehicle was forced to turn around, and squadron defenders fired shots as the vehicle left the area, forcing the base to lock down out of an abundance of caution, according to the Facebook post. The lockdown was lifted once the situation was cleared, the base said. The incident is still under investigation. So they never caught this guy, whoever tried to enter this gate at Offutt Air Base, the STRATCOM gate. They never caught him. They fired shots at the vehicle. The vehicle turned around and took off. So this is very concerning, guys. Was this some kind of jihadist? I mean, we don't know. All right. And we have some very concerning information coming out about this child pneumonia. So apparently in Germany, there's now an outbreak, and this is being reported by the news magazine Focus in its new edition published on Saturday, citing reports from the Hamburg area. We are actually seeing some infections with mycoplasma, some of them serious, says pediatric pulmonologist Philip Stock, the medical director at the Altona Children's Hospital. Those affected can develop rare complications. Doctors with their own practices in many other regions also reported a similar increase. Stock puts the typical age window at 5 to 16 years. Okay, so very young. The symptoms of an excruciating cough and narrowing of the airways are strong. The young patients have to be treated as inpatients for 7 to 10 days. Rare complications occurred, namely inflammatory injuries to the mucous membranes and the throat. So that's insane, guys. Excruciating cough, narrowing of the airways, inpatient treatment for 7 to 10 days. This is not what we're hearing from China and the World Health Organization. Okay, we're hearing that this is just some kind of normal flu. Okay, but that's definitely not what this is. Okay, this is actually mycoplasmic pneumonia. Okay, and this is being confirmed by a doctor in Hamburg, Germany, by the name of Philip Stock. You can look him up, pediatric pulmonologist, medical director. He's a director of a hospital there, a children's hospital, saying the typical age window is 5 to 16 years and an excruciating cough. Just not a good sign, guys. We could be having more lockdowns soon. And according to a ProMed report in China, the number of people being admitted to hospitals due to the new pneumonia is at 7,000 per day. Symptoms of the disease include high temperature, chills, no cough, formulation of nodules in the lungs. Hospitals in Beijing and Liaoning are overcrowded. School classes have been canceled, and doctors' working hours have been increased. And so, what you're looking at here is a picture of some school kids with masks and IV bags. I mean, does this look normal to you? Is this something that happens when you get the flu? Uh, Very, very concerning, guys. And one of my subscribers left a comment on my last video. This person is a teacher in Warren County, Ohio. That's where one of the outbreaks are happening right now in southwestern Ohio. And apparently, this person is a high school teacher, and they're saying that there's been an increase in the number of students that have called out sick and not reported to school. Okay, so high school teacher in Warren County, Ohio, leaving a comment on one of my videos saying that there's an increase in the number of students that haven't showed up to class. Very, very concerning. And U.S. nuclear forces are currently on high alert. We have two nuclear war command and control planes up in the air. One of them took off from Patuxent River. One of them took off from Tinker Air Force Base. And one is over the Gulf of Mexico right now. And the other one looks like it's heading into the Gulf as well. We also have a nuke sniffer plane airborne over South Dakota right now. These planes can detect the presence of radiation in the atmosphere. So a lot of activity here. And these nuclear war command and control planes can remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs. And they can also communicate with our nuclear armed submarines. So they're very, very important. In the event of a nuclear war, these planes would be responsible for issuing what are known as emergency war orders. If the president gives the order to launch, these planes would transmit those messages via VLF radio frequencies to the submerged nuclear armed submarines. Now, we also have fixed transmitter sites in Cutler, Maine, Jim Creek, Washington, Hawaii, and also in Australia, the Harold E. Holt facility in Australia. But those fixed sites would be one of the first targets in a nuclear war. And as soon as they're wiped out, we would not be able to communicate with our nuclear armed subs. So these planes would take to the air, and then we would be able to tell our subs what to do, what targets to hit, and what missiles to use, and so on. Okay. So they're very, very important. And in addition to this, we have something going on off the East Coast. We had several aerial refuelers and sub hunters active off the coast of Norfolk, okay, where Norfolk Naval Base is, where all the aircraft carriers are. Here you can see these aerial refuelers took off from New Hampshire, from North Carolina, and northern Florida. Here's a closer look. You can see there was a P-8 Poseidon here, sub-hunter plane, and 3 aerial refuelers, and they were all doing loops here right off the coast of Virginia Beach and Norfolk area, right off the coast of the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. So I don't know if there's some Russian subs out here or what, but this is very, very unusual. And in addition to that, we have the nuclear war command and control planes airborne as well, and the nuke sniffer plane. And here we have 2 sub-hunter planes that were active off the coast of Virginia Beach just about 3 hours ago. And here they are going back to base, okay? We have an update on the situation between Guyana and Venezuela. The Venezuelan vice president has addressed the nation of Venezuela regarding the decision made by the International Court of Justice about the lawsuit against Venezuela by Guyana regarding the disputed Essequibo region. And he said in its decision, the court rejected Guyana's request to suspend and or modify the referendum on Essequibo. So they're going to be doing a referendum on Sunday in Venezuela. Okay, they're going to vote on whether or not the western 2/3 of Guyana should belong to Venezuela. Brazil has already activated their military. They've done emergency activation of their army, and they've deployed heavy weapons to the border of Guyana and Venezuela, armored brigades and tanks, Leopard tanks, going to the border of Venezuela and Guyana. Brazil is afraid that Venezuela is going to use Brazilian territory to attack Guyana because there's only one paved road that goes from Guyana to Venezuela, and it's through the northern part of Brazil because the area is so remote and it's all jungles. Guyana has a massive oil deposit, and Venezuela's after that oil. They don't want Guyana to outcompete them because a lot of experts are saying or have said that Guyana will become like the next United Arab Emirates due to this oil deposit. And Guyana is also getting close with America, so Venezuela wants to go in there and take over Guyana, basically. So very serious situation, guys. They're going to be voting this Sunday on whether or not to recognize that whole western 2/3 of Guyana as part of Venezuela, pulling a Vladimir Putin like he did with Ukraine. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, they have brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all contained within 6 rugged, watertight buckets, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. Pretty much anyone can find the space in their home to fit 6 buckets, and it'll cover you for 3 months. And it's a variety of food, lunches, breakfasts, dinners, drinks, snacks, free shipping included, 25% off their normal price. Use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get the discount. They also have a 2-week emergency food supply, which is excellent for outdoorsmen or people who go vehicle camping. Now, why would you want to have 3 months of emergency food? Well, you can't rely on the just-in-time delivery system. We saw that fail during the pandemic. People were panic buying all kinds of food, and there were shortages of meat, dairy, and various types of foods. And that's nothing. If there was a true crisis in this country, like nuclear war, an EMP, a cyber attack, whatever the situation is, natural disasters, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, people would panic and buy up all the food. You don't want to be reliant on grocery stores for your food. You want to have a cushion for your family, and this will give you that cushion for a very reasonable price. You don't have to worry about rotating anything. You don't have to worry about your preps going bad. Just store this stuff in a temperature stable location, not too cold, not too hot, stable throughout the year, and it will last 25 years. This is an excellent gift idea for the prepper in your life. The 2-week food supply is an excellent gift idea for the outdoorsman in your life. They also have a general store. If you click the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com, it'll take you to their general store where they have everything you can imagine, from potassium iodide to water filters, solar generators, solar panels, survival seeds, fire starters, anything you can imagine, it's all there. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month freeze-dried food supply. And the link is in the description below this video. And Britain announced yesterday that it was sending one of their destroyers, the HMS Diamond, to the Persian Gulf to help contain increasingly serious threats to shipping from Iran and Iranian-backed groups. Here's a picture of that destroyer. Guys, you don't need a destroyer to clear out shipping lanes, okay? Destroyers are offensive weapons, okay? They're not used to stop pirates, all right? And they're not missile defense ships. These are offensive ships with missiles. This is what you would do if you were to want to attack Iran and go after their nuclear facilities, you would need a lot of destroyers. So this is a huge step up by NATO in the Middle East. Okay, Britain is sending a destroyer to the Persian Gulf. Huge news. And U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said today that the ceasefire ended between Hamas and Israel because Hamas violated its commitments. He said, "We saw that Israel took steps to inform the citizens of Gaza where the safe areas are and how they can protect themselves. There's indications that the Israeli Defense Forces may soon invade southern Gaza in Khan Yunis from the east. And the IDF Air Force has distributed leaflets over Khan Yunis earlier today, urging civilians to evacuate as soon as possible. And Palestinian sources have reported Israeli activity near Kuza in the east. Okay, so that is huge news, guys. We could see a massive invasion of southern Gaza very soon. And we know that the Israeli defense minister said that southern Gaza is the next phase and that they're going to target Hamas in the entire Gaza Strip, not just the northern part. And despite the truce being disrupted, there are reports in U.S. media and other sources suggesting that the truce could be reinstated if Hamas can once again deliver 10 live hostages to Israel every single day. And we had massive barrages of rockets fired towards Tel Aviv from Gaza. And what you're looking at here is an air raid alert from this morning. You can see all these areas here were targeted by Hamas rockets. And the Israeli Air Force carried out airstrikes in southern Lebanon on the outskirts of Naqoura and Aida al-Shab. So huge news there. Okay, the fighting between Lebanon and Israel has restarted, and the Israeli Air Force carried out airstrikes in southern Gaza today between Rafah and Khan Yunis. And I showed you guys a picture of that earlier. And I have another picture or video. I can't really play the video, but here you can see basically this mushroom cloud. And this was somewhere near Egypt, very close to Egypt. Okay, here we have some footage of the Israeli Iron Dome intercepting those rockets that were fired by Hamas. So the Iron Dome system is working very well, no issues there. And an Israeli government spokesman said Hamas is violating the rights of Israeli hostages through torture and physical abuse. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Israeli intelligence is planning to kill Hamas leaders around the world. And in Myanmar, clashes between the government troops and several rebel groups are ongoing near the Chinese border. And China and Myanmar are conducting joint naval exercises now. This also follows China's dispatch of troops to the troubled border region. The situation is extremely dangerous for the Myanmar government as ethnic armed groups are gaining momentum and achieving certain successes within the country's territory. So far, their progress is mostly tactical, but it further complicates the situation. So, China's worried about these rebel groups overtaking Myanmar, and that would be a problem for China because then they would have to deal with these rebel groups and a different government that's not under their control, possibly even friendly to the West. So China's scrambling to deal with the situation in Myanmar to prevent these rebels from overthrowing the government in Myanmar, basically. If the U.S. was smart, they would try to do everything in their power to help these rebels overthrow the Chinese friendly government in Myanmar. Uh, the CIA should be doing that right now. They may not be, though, because the Biden administration is very, inept and weak when it comes to dealing with situations like this. And in Ukraine, Russian flags have appeared on the western edges of Marinka, according to Russian sources. And also, according to Russian sources, the Ukrainian army is making massive beach landings near Krinky, which is on the left bank of the Dnipro River. That's in southern Ukraine on the eastern side of the Dnipro River, just north of Crimea. And they're trying to break through the lines over there. And apparently, 2,500 New York City police officers resigned in 2023. That's a massive number, guys. And the U.S. House has expelled Congressman George Santos, making him the sixth lawmaker in history to be kicked out of the U.S. House. That's absolutely insane, guys. So that's some of the latest information that I have. The situation between Venezuela and Guyana is continuing to escalate. That's right on our doorstep, guys. Okay, lots of oil there. It's not that far away. And the situation with this pneumonia outbreak is just getting worse and worse. Now we're hearing in Germany. The other day it was Ohio, the Netherlands. So it's spreading, guys. Okay, it's spreading and it sounds pretty bad. All right. 7 to 10 days of inpatient treatment in most cases being reported by this German medical director. Okay. And the unauthorized vehicle trying to attack Offutt Air Base is very, very serious. So I'm going to continue to monitor the situation. I'll keep you guys updated. I probably will be back later on tonight with another update. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon below so you get notified when I post these emergency updates. And other than that, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.